So sit comfortably in your chair. You can rest your back against the back of the chair, but try and keep it fairly straight so that you feel balanced. You're not having to use your muscles to keep yourself upright. Just let your spine settle like blocks balanced on top of each other until it extends all the way down into your hips. You feel your hips and your legs, the full weight of your body resting in the chair, pressing against the back of your legs and feet. Your feet are flat on the floor, connected to the ground, to the earth. Let your head balance on your neck as best you can. The head is a heavy thing to be holding up all the time, and if you can just let it rest on your neck and shoulders, give you a rest in your neck muscles, and let your shoulder muscles relax. Kind of just let your arms grow heavy. You don't need to hold them up. Let them relax, and your arms sink into your lap. And we'll start with 3 rings of the bell. Take a deep breath with each ring. Deep breath in and out. So in and out. And as you listen to the echo of the bell, let yourself go into this place of turning the light of your attention around onto yourself. You'll hear sounds outside, you may smell, sense, but just take them as though they're all part of you. And let your attention focus to begin with on your belly and your breath as it enters and exits. Your belly rises and draws that fresh air in. Your belly falls, pushes out the air warmed by your lungs. You can feel that in your nostrils even, the cool air coming in, the warm air leaving your nostrils. And just focus on your belly. It's kind of where the center of our breath comes from, that the center of our solar plexus, that large muscle that keeps us breathing, keeps us alive. And you can feel almost as though you're a bellows, almost hollow in a way, with your lungs just taking in that air. You take that full breath as your belly rises and it draws the air in, and you hardly even need to blow that air out. You just relax, and the air leaves your lungs like a balloon that's deflating. And then when it's emptied, nature abhors a vacuum, so your lungs start to fill again. And you just need to be attentive to it more than anything. And there comes a moment when you might add a little muscle. Raise your belly just a little further to get a full breath of air. And then you relax again, and you hardly need to expel that air, that breath. Till the very end, you can do it as though you're giving yourself a hug around the middle. And you'll find what you're doing there too is seeing something through from the beginning to the end, taking a full breath rather than if you're occupied with something else or you're anxious, you don't take full breaths. You can literally stop and notice your breath just goes halfway down into your lungs. And we're so much healthier if we can take in that full breath. Our brain works better. Our body gets the oxygen it needs into our blood. There's no need to slow down your breath, but you will find that giving your attention to it tends to make it fuller, and it does start to slow because you're taking the time to completely fill your lungs. And you're also taking the time to pay attention to that breath. You're kind of savoring each breath. We take breath so much for granted. Unless we have a cough and we can't stop coughing, can't catch our breath. Or as a kid, if we fell off a swing and had the wind knocked out of us, there's that moment of panic when you can't draw air in. And then you relax and you can breathe. And that's what happens here too, just relaxing your mind and your body and giving your attention, but not anxious attention, more relaxed attention to your breathing. And that same kind of attention can fill your whole body. You can picture it as though there's a pebble on the very crown of your head. And it's like a pebble floating down through a stream. It moves from the top of your head down to your forehead level, and you feel your forehead relax. You might be surprised to find how tense your forehead is. And you'll find we all have the places we put our tension into. Some of us have similar ones, but some of us have kind of unusual ones. It might be your forehead, or as the pebble continues down, it might be your ears or your jaw. And believe it or not, you can put tension into your ears. It kind of radiates from your jaw. But you don't need to tell yourself there's something wrong with you for holding that tension. That's what our bodies do. They tend to hold that tension in part to protect us. But in this moment, you can let go into knowing you're safe and well. You don't need to force those muscles to relax. What you'll find is just paying attention, they'll often relax by themselves because your body sees it's putting a lot of energy into something it doesn't need to do. So you release and let go, and you feel that pebble continue drifting down, and it leaves relaxation behind it. It leaves feeling well, and it moves down into the next spot where there may be tension. You might hold it in your throat. Sometimes these spots are related to feelings too, and anger oftentimes shows up in the throat. So just relax your throat, and particularly be aware of your neck and your shoulder muscles. We began by letting them grow heavy and relaxing them, but already in this short time you may find it's as though you're trying to touch your shoulders to your ears. But again, just become aware of them. And you can let gravity be your friend. When you relax, your shoulders naturally drop down. They find a place where they stop, where they're in balance. And you can continue that feeling then of relaxation. And as you look through your whole body, you may find places you've relaxed are already tense again. And there again, you just look at them, and that awareness oftentimes brings relaxation. The pebble continues down into your chest, into our hearts. There's a reason we feel our hearts are the main site of emotion. It's our breath and our heart that quicken when we're excited, or quicken when we're in love, or when we're depressed. They can actually seem to slow. And we want to protect those feelings, that heart. And we oftentimes hunch forward as though we're trying to put armor on in the front of our chest to protect ourselves. But here again, you can remember we're just safe being and being aware, so that your shoulders not only drop, but they open up your chest. They roll back ever so slightly to open your chest. You'll feel there's more ease in breathing with that. The pebble continues down into your belly. And there again is one of those places we don't realize it, but we can hold tension. Especially if we're conscious we may have a good round belly and we think we shouldn't, so we tighten it up all the time. Or we can tighten it up to keep that feeling that we should be in fear and be ready to run at any second. And in mindfulness, they call this practice having a soft belly, letting your belly relax. Maybe letting it relax and open up even more full and round, kind of like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Just let your belly grow soft and relax. And you feel your whole upper torso settle into your hips as that pebble continues down. Those strong hips that drive our walking, our running, that keep us balanced and sitting. And you feel how they bear that weight of our upper body. Again, as you just feel the fullness of your body and the weight of it as gravity pulls you down. And you let your pebble continue down through your legs, relax your thighs and your knees, and down through your calves. Again, you might be tensing those up, especially if you're one of those people who likes to kind of let your foot rest in air and tap it on the floor with some of that nervous energy. But you can let that go right down. Relax those calves, feel the relaxation draw down into your ankles, finally into your feet. You feel your feet, you feel the socks surrounding them, the shoes that they're in, and that pebble comes down at last to settle on the earth, just like it would settle among all the other stones at the bottom of a stream. And then you just rest there, letting the waves, the currents swirl around you, but just feeling settled and relaxed. And refer back to your breathing, maintaining that soft belly so that you can breathe in a relaxed manner and fully take each breath in and complete it. How often do we pay attention to making sure we complete a task? This is a good opportunity to practice that on a moment-to-moment level. You feel the wholeness of your body. We human beings have that ability to feel the position of our body at any time. And you feel that body seated in the chair, gravity drawing it down, and you scan, looking to see if there's tension anywhere. Letting yourself relax into that tension, and the tension flows down like something heavy that you don't need. And you just continue with your soft belly, breathing in and breathing out. And now at this point, you may be still enough that you feel an itch or a slight twinge of pain in your neck or your back. You can certainly make adjustments. Sometimes that kind of pain is just a sign that we're not sitting in a balanced manner. And make gentle movements to see if that relieves the pain. But do it as using the pain as a guide to the best way to be sitting, not in a frantic effort to get rid of that pain. It really doesn't need to fill your whole mind and thought if you just are aware of it Notice what it may feel like, if it's hot, if it's sharp. And what we want to do, we can't get rid of that pain necessarily, but what you want to do is not tense up your entire body around that pain so that your whole body becomes like one big fist. And you may notice sometimes if you have some pain, your hands are already formed in a fist. But just be with the sensations now, the sounds, the scent. And the best place to learn about how you can deal with pain is if you feel a little itch. And just tell yourself you've taken this as a chance to experiment, and you're going to see what happens if you don't scratch every little itch you feel. And it can become overpowering, that urge to itch it. And you're telling yourself that story that I'll go crazy if I can't scratch this itch. But if you don't tense up and don't respond to it or react to it, let it get your mind worked up, what you'll usually find is, like all other things in our life, these things come and go. Suddenly you'll hardly realize it and that itch is gone. And no surprise that it may turn up somewhere else. But then for a time now, you can rest and continue just scanning from head to toe, noticing tension, noticing itches, noticing those slight pains, and just let yourself recharge and enjoy this feeling with gratitude and joy in being a human being who can breathe and who has this body that moves us through the world and lets us be still, that can eat and breathe. And if you're doing this on your own, you don't need to push yourself to see how far you can go, how long you can do it. When you've reached a time that feels right, you just take 3 deep breaths, open your eyes. But while still doing what you can to maintain that mind, you can always touch base with that relaxed, calm, settled mind and body through just paying attention to a few breaths. So try this on your own a couple times this week if you can, and just see what you learn from it. Right now we'll ring the bell one time and take 3 deep breaths and then open your eyes.